Welcome to Interesting Talks with Footprints Counselling Service. I hope your glass is half full rather than half empty. I've been away for a few weeks. I've recharged my batteries, so to speak. I welcome new listeners and say hello to my regular listeners. We now have the freedom in England to do most of the things we used to do pre-lockdown, which is much appreciated by many, including myself. As normal, the country is divided as should we open up our ways of living or continue with some form of lockdown. This leads to this talk of today, which is living in the grey areas of life. Do like and leave comments. Black and white thinking can often affect your health by putting limits on choices, can create a prison that leads to poor health. We humans are a funny bunch. We celebrate creativity, genius and success, but often don't see what it is that gives us rise to those traits. We like to think of ourselves as fluid, flexible thinkers, but underneath we can have another tendency. This is to separate action plans into black and white options. This is known as dictonomous thinking or splitting. Back in the day, and we are talking early humans, we had to make snap decisions. We had to be able to evaluate what was going on in a hurry and respond. Often our lives seriously depended on it. And truly sometimes these days, quick assessment of what needs to happen is also important. Let's say somebody runs through a stop sign, a traffic light, and it's heading towards us. This can be life-saving. However, we don't have to live by simple solutions when it's a complex task in day-to-day living. But our lives are not always dependent on quick evaluations and easy answers like get out of here. We can take time to kick back and be introspective and evaluate different scenarios and respond to a complex world with complex problems. Did Albert Einstein come up with the theory of relativity by limiting his thinking to a few ideas? Actually weighed up countless options, applied great effort to finding a solution. We clearly don't need to be coming up with the kind of solutions that Albert Einstein did, but we can contrast his methods to what is happening in dictonomous thinking in our lives. What is dictonomous thinking? Well, dictonomous thinking is seeing things and situations and relationships experiences as either good or bad. Often this leads to people thinking either they've succeeded or they've failed with a certain scenario. It's easy to end up being frustrated because there doesn't seem to be a really available answer to such problem or a problem. Looking at it another way, accepting results without questioning can lead to low self-efficacy and feelings of no control over outcomes. Sometimes this is a subconscious ingrained self-image that the person is not even aware of. Unfortunately, there are subtle and not so subtle ways that this can be taught to us, so it becomes a default way of thinking throughout our life. How often we have taught our children to compare themselves to others by sharing scores on achievement tests or making judgments based on grades. Students may come to think I'm not smart enough or I'm just not good at math. Sometimes students are praised for just trying, no matter the outcome. While this may seem like a good idea, being praised for just trying does not help the student to learn from the experience or make a strategy for doing better. When an effort has been made that didn't quite work, a useful follow-up would be, let's talk about it. You've tried, and let's see what you can do next to improve your results. What about healthy habits? How can we incorporate them into our life? When it comes to healthy habits like diet, exercising, research shows that autonomous thinking very often hinders individuals' effort to reach their goals. As an example, let's take an in-depth look at what can happen when a person decides it's a good idea to exercise more. Perhaps their doctor has told them about the benefits, or perhaps they've had a health scare, Or perhaps they just know they should do something about their health and do a bit of exercise. A dictonymous view of the effort could look something like this. I never look like those fitness models, so why try? It might hurt, and I have enough aches and pains already. I've tried before, and it's just not for me. I don't have the time. I dropped off the program last week, so I must not be motivated enough. I can't go to the gym. Those people look so much better than me. In the end, if the effort fails, the person may view themselves as falling short. It may even be the case that the person anticipates a failed outcome and doesn't even try. In both of these cases, the person is locked into dictonymous thinking. It's either black or white, good or bad, where it's difficult to see any other option. In the example that I've used, and in many other cases, the net result is the person's health suffers, or whatever the goal that they're trying to achieve suffers, and they suffer accordingly. How can we change this around? Well, there's good news. The good news is that grey way of thinking can be taught. Except that none of us is perfect. Nobody's on the top of their game every day. Except that you are not falling short, but are just fluctuating like everybody else. Be alert to the signs, should I say, of a fixed mindset. These would be things like defensiveness, insecurity, comparing yourself to others, and not measuring up. These thoughts can be switched off. They can be replaced with the realization that you can always learn something new. Find strategies and seek input from others to help you. Write down one black and one white thought every day, and then rewrite it using grey thinking. For example, you skipped the gym last week. Does that mean you're unmotivated and always will be? Instead, have a look at the reasons that happened. If the gym is too far away, find another way to get some exercise. If it seems to take up too much time, break your exercise down into smaller events. Talk to someone who can help you figure out a way to succeed at your goal or getting more exercise. Often the end result of black and white fixed mindset or dictonymous thinking is the lack of a long-term success. Black and white thinking can seem totally natural until some of the difficulties and lack of results are pointed out. This may be an opportunity to start a dialogue about how to change to a more productive and hopeful approach. Thank you for listening. I hope that you found this talk informative, interesting and useful. Do share your comments and leave likes. Share with friends and family. Until next week, take care of yourself, try to stay positive, and try to remember not everything is black and white. Bye for now.